This is Yusuf at JohnTheHutDweller, and I appreciate you, billzybobb, for just saying the Hut Dweller. As many people mistake, my name is John. It's not. It's Yusuf. If people prefer to anglicize that as Joseph, it's fine. I have no quarrel with that at all. It's still my name. People wanted to make it Spanish and say Jose, or say still the name. In your video, you went through a couple things, and let me address those. You said the 10 questions that you had that actually began with 0 that I had addressed in a previous video. You said, it says, "What's up, man? Decided to check out your video. Before I post your video to mine, I'd like to ask you a few questions." I very easily mistook that as, when I answer these questions, if I answer these questions honestly, he'll post the video. Okay, misunderstanding there. The second thing, targeting. No, I said that when you use the word Christian, when you say Christians believe this, we're under that umbrella. In fact, for the first 1,000 years of Christian existence, we were the only church. We were the only survivor of the factions that came out: the Ebionites, the Marcionites, the Gnostics, the Orthodox. The Orthodox are the only ones that remain, and their teaching remained from a very early period, and that's who compiled the scriptures of the Bible, and that's whose Bible that's the Bible. That's the New Testament. People ask where it comes from. It comes from us, and it was compiled late. It's very late here. I believe it's 397 A.D., so that's well over 150 years after the life of Jesus. So when you say this is a challenge to Christians, and when you said I didn't say Orthodox, I said Christian. It's like saying I didn't say human being, or I didn't say Italians, I said human beings. You kind of, it's kind of like, wait, so we're not recognized? Saying Italian because you know what? Actually, I think I am part Italian, but I digress. So it's not. And I never accused you of targeting Orthodox. I said that when you say Christian, the Christian you're referring to is Western Christianity, which is the only one that most in America have been exposed to. And when they attack Christianity, it's like attacking, you're saying, I'm attacking Islam, and you're attacking specific Shiite beliefs. And you said, well, see, this disproves Islam. Well, you have a vast amount of Sunnis out there that would say, wait, you need to specify. You need to specify the type that you're going after. And that's what my problem was with it. Now, my first 2 videos were not hostile towards you. I said I liked your video. Good. I actually, the video response I had encouraged you. Yeah, there were some videos where when we had some hot exchanges on comments, where I said, him saying that, well, we're not Christian because, we don't hold to this angry God because these 10 questions that he had listed me. Do you believe all are born sinful? No. I mean, do you believe Jesus crucified? I mean, he asks, do I basically believe these statements. Is the New Testament valid? I said, not in the hands of heretics, not being read. Well, you know what? That because I already answered that in the video, and this would be a waste of your time, your viewers' time, and my time. I'll try to attach the original video to this one. And then the last few messages I commented to as soon as I saw the apology to 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 Gambler. I said, I totally respect you, this and that. I said, maybe I should take down some of those old videos. So I'm not going to hunch down. If there was no God, we wouldn't be moral. Well, if we weren't imbued with a conscience, no, we couldn't say we were moral. Morality is a human label. We believe that God created mankind through evolution, might I say, through any way He wanted to. It doesn't matter, because the book that we sustain, and the Jews also sustained the part of it, the Old Testament. Many in the ancient world said, well, it didn't exactly happen this way. We can see two competing stories of creation. You have creation in chapter 1, and then you have the second creation in chapter 2. You have two stories. These were ancient myths that weren't getting remembered exactly right. We don't believe the Bible is the Word of God. Again, we edited it and compiled the New Testament. Let me reiterate that. Edited and compiled the New Testament because it was a book for our liturgical church, which was Christianity for 1,000 years. And then for the next 500 years, you basically only had two forms of Christianity. You had the Eastern Orthodox that would keep breaking into what's Oriental and what's Eastern, which is the same word. They would wind up fracturing sometimes over language, coming back together, and they just keep doing that. But what we call Eastern Orthodox and Western Latin Roman Catholic. And then you had the Protestant Reformation. And then you have evangelicals and things like that, and all these thousands of denominations. But you can group them into, you can either group them Eastern and Western, or you can say Protestant, Catholic, and Orthodox. Orthodox being a 500 million of us. So when you say Christian, we're Christian. You wind up including well, this is against Christians. Well, your argument didn't go against Christians. It went against Western Christians, not Christians in general. That's what I was saying, and that's why I liked your video, because it went against the West. You were chasing after the heretics. You were doing something very orthodox. The end of the video that you have is about Gambler and this justice and all this stuff, and it's not something that me and you would ever addressed or talked about. I said, check this out. This may clarify things. Morality. We get our morality from God because we're created in the image and likeness of God, being self-aware, having a conscience, holding beliefs, things that are right or wrong, and then humans come along and create these things. Oh, there's morality and there's this, and then you get in scholasticism, which is another thing we reject, which we think came, well, it came later on. People from the beginning of time knew what was right and was wrong because it was directly related to their survival. Human beings couldn't survive without what you may describe as a loose moral code. Killing your brother is bad because Your enemies may come and attack you, and you may not fight. Your genes wouldn't survive. Uh, Incest, again, destroys the genes. When I don't want to use the word destroys, but distorts and weakens the species. And you could say this is the beginning of morality on Earth. It's based around our survival, how we survive. And we can see in countries where they do take care of their poor, their sick, things that seemingly don't have, well, why would that be of benefit? Evolution, and I'm using this even in society, has shown that you have more success, people have more children, people survive better, they have a better, longer life, and healthier life. Comparison to communism and capitalism. Free market beats out, but also there is in the free market we have collective bargaining and certain social programs. So it winds up finding its balance. There's constant raging war while we're on this earth in many forms, not just guns and ammo, but of genetics, of ideas, of everything like this. And you can call this morals, and that's where it derives from. It derives from nature. Now, what started all that? God. Uh, that's why Archbishop Lazar said even a moral code, having just this strict moral code, can be heretical. I'll give you an example. You're hiding Jews in your attic, like Anne Frank, and the Nazis come by. And they say, hey, you guys, you're not hiding anybody, right? You don't remain silent and say, well, I can't say yes, because that would betray them. I just have to remain silent. You would say, oh my God, of course not. Hitler's awesome, good for him, hail Hitler. They'd move on. That would be the right thing to do. Christ differentiated between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. Saving those people's lives is the right thing to do. That's why when you get into this moral, we need to find a moral code. You're not going to find a moral code because these are all constructs of humans trying to place on things. At the end, you attached gambler after you said, well, it's gonna. You attached stuff between you and gambler. After saying that I might hunt you down and wring your neck, I will do no such thing. And before you made that video, I mean, I can show messages where I said, I respect you now, this and that. And it started off kind. And it was only when you're saying, well, orthodoxy, that doesn't count. That's not what I'm talking. I said Christian, not Orthodox. I didn't say you were attacking. I didn't say you were targeting the Orthodox. You were doing the exact opposite. You were saying Christianity, which is a very American Protestant thing to do. To not even, oh, they don't even exist. It's like it's like if I went to Mars. Let's say there's Martians on Mars and said, "Why are you attacking mankind? You're sending all these missiles to, you're sending all these missiles. Why are you hitting America?" Well, we're not attacking America. We're attacking the Earth. America is part of the Earth. Orthodoxy is under the umbrella of Christianity. Actually, we're the first. I don't know who would just. The only people who would dispute that would be the Roman Catholics, and even they would say we're just as old as them, except that we fell into heresy and we claim they fell into heresy. Just look who changed more over the years, okay? Who kept the traditions alive? Who actually started changing things? I don't like the fact that it got vicious, but using your logic, I said, well, by your own logic, if you're the way you were basically discounting the fact that Orthodox weren't Christians by us not believing in original sin at all. We don't believe Jesus died as a blood payment sacrifice for people to go to heaven. Uh, our concept of heaven and hell, we can't say that we believe in heaven and hell, because saying that they're Western concepts. We believe everything goes back to God, and the majority of mankind is actually good and will probably be in a state of blessedness, where there are some who will be in the state in front of pure love and absolutely hating it. If you've ever been in that state of being in the presence of pure love and just despising it, yeah, that's what it's like. It's really easy. The saint said it, very easy. To get along with people in your neighborhood, do people like you? Do you like them? God probably likes you. You always being mean to people, and people are afraid of you and fear you and this and that. Well, then he probably. Morality is something mankind is a label that mankind tried to stick onto things and categorize. So morality, it's just like justice. I don't believe there is such a thing. A woman gets raped. You can do whatever you want to that man. You can torture him, kill him. That scar is still in her and will be in her forever until she dies. These are constructs that we built to try to stay alive in this world, and they're what worked. So morality, I don't see that coming into play. I see that it is a very human thing. Because we're made in the image and likeness of God, we're self-aware, and we can decide, and we can choose, and we can think, and we can imagine. It's because of this where our morality's grown from. It wasn't God standing on Mount Sinai reciting laws, because we're told those laws are useless. And why is Judaism more valid than any other religion? The prophecy was the light of the existing one will come to the Gentiles, will come to all nations. All nations. That's why when Orthodoxy, when Christianity, that's how Orthodoxy began, would come to the nation. They wouldn't destroy what was before it, like the Protestants do, and say, "Oh, it's all pagan. You got to strip it down." I have a perfect example sitting right here. This is why we don't believe in proselytizing. When they first built churches, and the Native Americans wanted to convert, I don't know if you can see this. They let them have their totem poles with their symbols and everything like that on it. They didn't, oh, these are wicked and evil things. Now the Protestants say, oh, see, you're using pagan things. Well, we don't even believe in, that's why I won't write, when I'm talking about my belief, I won't even write out the word God. I write G-D. Because it's not a sky God. It's not the God that sends down moral codes. It's the existing one. It's not a debt that needs to be paid. Now, if someone, and by someone I mean heretics, take our scriptures that we use for liturgical reasons and read it like it's a manual that God sent down, this is the word of God, without knowing anything. There's letters in there by various apostles written to different churches. Do they know what context that's in? Because there were people living around that time that said, yeah, we know what he meant when he was talking about this. And, oh yeah, I was taught by those two guys. They were taught by the apostle John. One of them's named Polycarp. The other's named Ignatius of Antioch. And Clement, yeah, he knew Peter and Paul. So when they went to ask, what do these writings mean? Oh yeah, he explained this to me. Now what got put in the book for liturgical reading, as if you can gain an understanding of God. The reason why we don't proselytize is either you hear the calling of God, you're called to God, the inner spiritual thing, or you don't. That's it. There's no proselytizing. If an Orthodox person is trying to convince an atheist of God to save his soul, dude, it's already fallen into heresy. What I was defending was people attack Christianity all the time, and what they're actually attacking is Western heresies such as creationism, original sin, being saved, a God that damns people to heaven or damns people to heaven. Well, some of the heavens I've heard of is pretty damn horrible. Damns people to a hell where there's fire with demons poking you, and or this heaven where it's like a super Disneyland, which was not anything like Christianity for the first 1,000 years or the next 1,000 years for the Christians outside of Western Europe. That's exactly what I was addressing in that video. I said, by your own logic, I mean, you're saying, well, the majority of the people around you. Ethiopia, one of the oldest Christian communities. People, oh well, we should send missionaries there. Why? They're already Christian. Syria, Russia, Palestine, Greece. I mean, these don't even. Some of the oldest monasteries are in China. There's what I was defending against, because I had agreed with your video. I liked it. You didn't post it because it was a Christian who liked your video. And I still like your videos. But when you come on and talk trash, okay, some of my viewers are going to talk trash against you. And they'll get fed up and make a video and be like, I'll use your own logic against you. But, yeah, targeting. I guess you could say you wind up targeting the Orthodox if you're targeting the Christians, and we're Christian. But the beliefs that you listed that you're going against aren't held. It's not a universal belief among Christians. That's not universal. That's go against the. It's like saying I'm going to attack the Christians for believing in the Pope. Wouldn't you say, wait, you mean Catholics, right? So why can't I do the same thing? Now, if I were to make a video say, or even if you were, well, the Christians, when they believe in the Pope, when the Christians believe, and this is something Christianity has to answer about the Pope, you'd get slammed by the evangelicals, the Baptists, the Methodists. So, whoa, we rejected the Pope. We would come to you and say, yeah, he was a good guy for a long time, but then in the Middle Ages with the Borgias and the poisoning and the murder and the political thing, and he had his own papal states and he was going to war. Then the Bishop of Rome was no longer to be listened to, and he started just changing things at will. So why is it that when you state these things as if they're universal against the Christians, I can't say, whoa, no, there's a whole chunk of us that don't believe that. And I understand you're ignorant of that, and that's an apt word to use. You're less, and you're less than more people. Thank the heavens. Thank you, actually. You actually took the time to watch the video I sent you. And you're learning about it. to a degree. That's a good thing. And you know what? You've already rejected the Western God. Good. You're closer to us. You believe people have an innate conscience and reason, and can do good all by themselves without being told to do good or without a fear of a God. Again, you're already closer to us than you are to the evangelicals, or we are to the evangelicals. That's what this was all about. And if your video is towards me, why did you tack on the thing about gambler at the end? Oh, you did put the Hut Dweller and your Hut Dweller Eastern Orthodox. Okay, I'll give you that one, but hunt you down. I know you received those PMs because you responded to them. We're not hostile towards each other. I said, let this in no way keep you from making a video that opposes me, because that's not the point. But I need to say, I do respect you. This and that, and I went on. Maybe in the next video I make, I'll actually read the well. Oh wait, the one that I sent to you. Yeah, I'll read that. And it was before I think, what is this, November 30th, or that this video went up. That I don't know. It's the 3rd now where I'm at. It's almost 1 in the morning. Again, this is getting long, but peace to you. I hope everybody has a nice day, and don't be afraid of a God in the sky, and don't do good just to get out of hell. And don't think you can lump your sins on somebody who got tortured to death and you get out of jail free card. No. And if somebody tells you morality, that's a human thing. Is God moral? Well, probably not in the eyes of most people. If you're reading the Old Testament and thinking that that's real and that actually this really happened, man, and that God actually told those people to kill, well, yeah, I think twice about not everything that somebody and God said. Really, how do you know? Again, this is one of the reasons we don't proselytize. You can convert, come on in, the water's fine, but we don't proselytize. We don't believe Jesus came down here just to get the snot knocked out of him and to die. So because God was so angry, even though he's loving and merciful, but he needed justice, so he needed to butcher his son. No, that's against our belief. So when you challenge those beliefs, you're pro-Christian because you're against the heretics. Because we were the only form of Christianity for 1,000 years. We get to decide who's Christian, who's not. We wrote and compiled the Bible. Nobody would have known the name of Jesus had it not been for us, or Paul, or any of those people. We were the ones with the martyrs. I mean, I hate to lay claim, but when make a video challenging Christians about the Pope of Rome. It's the same thing you challenged. You challenged Protestant ideas and said you were challenging all of Christianity. You weren't. If you would have just said Western Christianity, I'm right there with you. Billzybobb, I don't want to be your enemy. If there is a good topic to debate, let's debate it. But I don't want to argue with things I already agree with you on. Peace to you. I hope you have a. If I don't make another video towards you, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. And if you want me to take down if there's some of those videos you want me to take down, I'll look at them, and if there is offensive stuff they'd say, I will naturally be embarrassed and say, that's it, it's gone. Alright, peace to you. I usually never rewatch my videos.